Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Alien vs. Predator Galaxy YouTube channel. This is Aaron Percival, also known as Corporal Hicks on the online Alien and Predator community.
And this is Adam Zeller. My screen name is Ridgetop on our forums.
And we're back for another motion tracker video in which we talk about some of the latest news to be occurring in the Alien and Predator sphere. And this one is, I guess, our first official talk of the new Predator film. Everything else has been scoops and leaks and stuff that has been pieced together, but now somebody in an official capacity has finally opened their mouths about it, and this time it is none other than John Davis, who is the long-time Predator series producer. So let's bring up the article.
Despite being well into filming, the talk about Dan Trachtenberg's Predator 5 has been practically non-existent. Now the film's producers John Davis and John Fox have broken the silence and dished some details with Collider. According to Collider, the film will be known as Skull, dropping the plurality from the previous title, and will in fact be about the Predator's first ever hunt on Earth, meaning that the AVP films will no longer be canon to the Predator films. Though the duo didn't go into specific details regarding the plot, Davis does compare it to the original Predator in regard to how Dutch had to use that Boy Scout bullshit. It goes back to, quote, "It goes back to what made the original Predator movie work, the ingenuity of a human being who won't give up, who's able to observe and interpret, basically being able to beat a stronger, more powerful, well-armed force. It actually has more akin to the Revenant than it does any film in the Predator canon. You'll know what I mean once you see it," end quote.
So let's stop here, actually, because we've already got to the point where one of the points where I'm kind of like, "Rrr," and that is that it says John Davis and John Fox in there, but it all seems to have come from John Davis specifically, and that's that this will be about the Predator's first ever hunt on Earth. I don't like that. I really don't.
I don't like it either, because you're closing the universe a bit with the opportunity of stories you can tell. I mean, it would be conflicting with some of the stories we've already seen, like in If It Bleeds, there was an ancient samurai story, which probably would have been before these times. But I mean, John Davis he's a producer. He's misspoke before on these franchises. I think in the commentary for AVPR, he called the Pred Alien 80% Predator. So I don't know if he's the most reliable on this particularly. I mean, I know he's had a long time involvement with the Predator franchise, but he has misspoke before. I mean, recently Dan Trachtenberg, just after this, literally the next day, posted something on Instagram saying, "Oh, just thinking about how in my previous film, the working title changed in the final release." And it's like, why would he be posting that if not making a commentary on this news? So
that is exactly what I thought, because I even think him calling it Skull as opposed to Skulls is him misspeaking. But
yeah,
I think I don't know whether that's just suspicion on my part. Well, it is suspicion on my part rather than anything else, but that's also kind of why I'm hoping that it's a misspoke about it being the first ever hunt.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Speaking to some people on the Predator Hunting Grounds Discord, I believe it was Comshot who was saying, well, maybe they mean like it's this particular Predator's first hunt, which that is fine. I don't know how you would portray that. I don't know how you'd portray it either way, unless you have subtitles or whatever. But
it's one of those things where it's kind of like, how are you going to put this through in a believable way in the context of what's happening? I mean, the whole it being this particular Predator's first hunt is something that's I've seen said quite a few places, actually, and I think it is probably the better route to go. I mean, from what we've seen, every single Predator that we've seen is experienced. You know, sure, in AVP it was their first time hunting. You know, it was their blooding hunt. It was their first time hunting aliens. But City Hunter, even though he was supposed to be younger and harsher and brasher than Jungle Hunter, we saw in the film that he'd been elsewhere. He'd hunted other things,
Yeah.
including an alien. So,
And Chopper in AVP had human skulls on him. So
so the idea that this could be a novice predator is actually quite interesting, because it could probably tie into some of the thematic elements of what we believe, what we've heard is supposed to be going on with Key and her sort of arc, in terms of not growing into adulthood, rather than being a child, and her brother as well having to step up into adulthood. So the idea that they could all be younger entities, including the predator and the humans, taking the next, step of next ritual in whatever their cultures, manhood, adulthood, kind of situation could work.
yeah, no, it's an interesting premise for sure. So it's possible that he could have just misspoke. I remember on the lead up to Predators in 2010, we were very worried after we heard, I believe it was like a live Q&A where Robert Rodriguez said something like, "Oh, we're disregarding Predator 2 in the AVPs." And later, I believe it was Nimrod Antal said, "Oh, well, we're disregarding the AVPs in more of an aesthetic sense." So
But
it wasn't
not
so
that
much
any of that mattered to the
right,
plot of the
and that
film
was one of the
anyway.
things you mentioned in your review back then. Was one of the first things you talked about was there's nothing in this that contradicts what came before. But that one quote from Rodriguez, I think, set up that worry that it would somehow invalidate Predator 2. And I know that AVP movies don't have a lot of fans, but I do like them being connected to the Predator films. I mean, you can call them Easter eggs if you want, but that was
They
Lexus
are.
Spear with an
They
alien
are.
tail in the Predator, featured prominently in frame. Easter egg or not, it's in the damn movie.
I know, but it's
So
still an Easter egg. Stop clinging to it, you and Voodoo.
we almost had Newt in the movie, and I know it wasn't in the
Almost.
movie,
Almost. You'd have a
but
leg to stand on if that appalling ending had happened, but you don't have a leg to stand on. So,
hey, there's an alien tail in that movie, and there's an alien skull in another one.
could be anything. Could
Right,
be anything.
right. Anyway,
Anyway, let's get back to this. So, I think the quote about all the Boy Scout bullshit makes sense given the context of the film, and that's actually something I'm quite looking forward to seeing. Is this more handling of
yeah.
primitive handling of the predator, and I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it came down to in the first film. It wasn't even just that; it was pure fucking luck as well.
I just
So
want to see if this is a particular predator's first hunt, a predator get defeated but not killed.
yeah,
Yeah, because
yes,
that
me
would be
too.
interesting.
I know that's something a lot of people would like to see, is the main predator survive, and yeah, I'd like it for something different as well. What about the comparison to the Revenant? That's
Yeah, I
some
mean, I
lofty
know that
words.
they're kind of filmed in the same location, right? They're both in Calgary. I haven't seen The Revenant yet myself, and I do
Oh,
want to watch it now. But I know there's been a number of movies shot up there in Calgary in the mountains and the forest that just look really beautiful. So I do want to kind of return to some of those movies in the filming locations as a comparison to what we're eventually going to see here.
I actually quite like the Revenant. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I really enjoyed it. Very, very nicely shot. Come on then, home stretch.
Talking about Trachtenberg, Davis calls his vision, quote, completely unique, and even went on to state that he thought Skull might even rival the original when it's completed. I don't know about this one, Davis. Quote, it's going to be, I believe, the second best or the first, or it may be equal to the first one, right? I feel like the first one was a wonderful, interesting movie, and I know what worked about it. I feel like we kind of never got back there again. We ended up in different places. I think this is a worthy compliment to the first one. It's going to be as good, end quote. And he's kind of said this stuff before too. Before, like on the lead ups to the other.
This is one of those ones where you just have to be like, okay, he's got his promotion head
This
on
is
here
producer
because
speak.
it's.
Yeah.
But if Dan does do something really unique with the style of this one, I think it's going to be interesting. I mean, we don't we really don't have much to go on. I mean, so much of the other, like the news outlets and everything have been like, "Whoa, there's a new Predator film coming." It's like, yeah, we've known about it for a little while now, but
Yeah.
okay.
As you're about to say here in the post, they also talked a little about the secrecy and circumstances regarding Skull's development, revealing that the film is, quote, probably 3/4 of the way through, end quote, production. The last we heard, filming is set to finish on the 20th of August. They also talked about the possible rating of the film, stating that it was conceived as an R rating, but worryingly could end up quote, could end up PG-13.
Easily end up
Don't
PG-13.
don't make
That's
it
where it's even.
PG-13.
Good
Don't.
fucking God, do not do it, because this is the overcorrection of AVPR due to the reaction of AVPs PG-13 should tell you enough to not even contemplate this, John
Yeah.
Davis. What the hell is going through your mind
No.
that you would say this?
Yeah.
No.
Even the consideration is highly concerning. Don't make this movie PG-13. You're going to, before fans have even made up their mind about the movie, you're going to piss them off. And that's not a good foot to stand on. This is an R-rated franchises, Alien, Predator, and AVP, and that's why people were so upset with the first AVP. That's why it got an unrated cut on Blu-ray. This is not a good idea. Don't do it.
Yeah, it's how can you do a PG-13 skull ripping and dead skinned bodies hanging down? I don't want reaction shots of all that in this. Yes, the reaction shots are nice, but show me the blinking gore. Come on, this is the first thing that's come out. This news piece is the first thing that we've heard from this film so far that's made me yeah.
As far as the tone of the film goes, Davis said it, quote, all depends on how you end up cutting it, right? It was conceived as an R-rated movie. It could easily end up PG-13. I guess I'm going to find out what it has to be or what it is when it's all cut together. So yeah, no, make it R.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you can get away with more than you would expect with a PG-13. Like I just watched A Quiet Place for the first time, and I felt like that movie got away with a bit as a PG-13. But again, you have that expectation based on the 4 Predator movies before that were all rated R. If you make the first PG-13 Predator movie, you're going to piss people off, and it's just better not to do that after the last movie when a lot of us were burned already.
Well,
so
especially with this rumor that it's going to be a Hulu release anyway. So what difference does the fucking rating make there? It's not like you're going to get extra bums on seats.
Well, maybe they want it on Disney Plus. Maybe that would be the PG-13.
Funny thing is, over here,
you have Disney Star. You have Disney Plus Star, right?
Just Disney Plus, as far as I'm aware.
Well, Star is like a section of Disney Plus for the adult content in Europe and the UK.
Fair enough. But yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. I mean, the only way I can see this working is there's a little bit of a theory going around that this is going to include some other creatures, such as Bigfoot. I don't know if he's the only way you're going to get around this is if it's creature gore.
No, I mean, no.
No
to Bigfoot and no to
you don't like that theory.
No, because when we're getting into cryptozoology, I'm like, come on, don't let's keep it focused here.
There was some fun story, or at least one I can remember offhand in If It Bleeds, that was about a predator coming to hunt some sort of mythical creature thing on Earth in the middle of one of the storms or something, I think, and it was really fun. It was really good. I wouldn't mind seeing some sort of.
I mean, the expanded universe is where you explore that stuff.
You could do it in a film. Predator is so versatile. Show it in the bloody films.
I don't know.
We're already getting.
I don't know how I'd feel about Predator versus Bigfoot. I don't think I'd be on board with that.
I would be totally on board with seeing it take on some sort of mythical creature. I really would. I think that'd be interesting.
What about a unicorn? What about Predator versus a unicorn?
Okay.
Do you want to see that one?
What's the what's it called where you deliberately go too far in the opposite direction in an argument?
That's the same thing, man.
It is not. Although, to be fair, maybe if it was the unicorn from
Cabin in the Woods.
Cabin in the Woods,
Yeah.
yes, there we go. Maybe that wouldn't be so bad. Or maybe that's what the Comanche characters come riding in on. It's not horseback, it's unicorn back.
Maybe. Let's hope not.
Oh, come on, guys. Everybody watching, guys and girls, you're on board with the mythical creatures, right?
Maybe if it was a Wendigo, because at least that would fit with like the theming. But nah.
Fair enough.
But it would be cool if they thought the Predator was a mythical creature, because that also happened in If It Bleeds. I think they thought the samurai thought the Predator was the Jinn or something. So maybe like if they thought the Predator was the Wendigo or some sort of Native American evil spirit or something in this, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to that either, so that could be fun. So after that, how are you feeling on Skull? You worried?
I mean, no, because again, John Davis has misspoke before, so I'm gonna wait and see. We got worried over nothing in the lead up to Predators. So I think when it comes down to it, don't make this the first time the species has come to Earth, and don't make this PG-13. Then we won't be worried.
Same. Completely agree there. How about everybody watching? Let us know down in the comments below as to how you're standing and what you think of this latest news. And as of today, if you haven't listened to it yet, you can't watch it because there was technical foul-ups. But we just posted our interview with none other than Mr. Peter Briggs, the screenwriter of the very first attempt to get Alien vs. Predator made on the big screen, and still now the best script that we've had written for it. So go and check that out if you're interested. This has been Corporal Hicks.
And Ridgetop.
Thank you for watching.